Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Newscast. It is Friday, so here's all of your retro handhelds, retro gaming, and gaming news. First, some housekeeping. I'm going to be gone to Gamescom starting Sunday to Thursday. So I'll be there in Germany at Gamescom, first time ever. I'm very excited. Unfortunately, I don't have tickets for opening night live, which is the biggest heartbreaker in my life right now, because I've always wanted to go to one of those shows, the Opening Night Live, Game Awards, all of that, which unfortunately didn't work out this time. So maybe next time. But I'm going to be there. So let me know if there's anything you want me to check out. I have some things in mind and some things I'll be doing, but let me know if there's anything there. I'll have some videos out while I'm there because I have my 1X Player 3 coming with DaVinci Resolve on it. So I can make whatever video I want. It'll be a weird one because I have to use a whole bunch of things that I've never used before, like a wireless mic and all of that. So it'll be weird, but we'll figure it out. You don't care about any of that? Let's talk about news. Shad PS4 version 0.18 is now out, and this was very quick because we just saw a 0.17 not too long ago. Now, the main reason for this update, according to the developer, is that the ShadNet, which is their internet type-based multiplayer thing, was broken in 0.17, so they want to get a release out pretty quickly for that to be fixed. But there is a bunch of other updates and additions here that should help games like Persona, Infamous, Gravity Rush 2, and so on. There's a long list of changes here that are more developer focused, so we're not going to get into it, but it's another update from Shad PS4, so you should update. Flycast version 2.7 is now out, and Flycast is the Sega Dreamcast, Naomi, Atomic Wave emulator on everything, basically. But it also is a core in RetroArch, and the core is up to date with the standalone version, so you don't really need to change anything if you're using the core. It gets all of the same features and functions. But with this one, comes better frame rate detection and pacing, localization, multi-screen support for Airline Pilot, Sega Strike Fighter, and Derby Owners Club. Modern emulation is improved, and they've improved some Dream Pico ports and Dream Potato support, which whatever that is. But they've also added a few other things like Google Auto Backup support for VMU saves and other updates. I've actually submitted a PR to Flycast to get the saves out of Android scope storage. Hasn't been merged as of yet, so it is still there, but hopefully they can do that because they are stuck behind Android's data storage and you can't access them with any non-AYN, non-Retroid device for the most part. So we'll see what happens there, but 2.7 is now out, so check it out. GameNative version 1.2.0 pre-release is now out. For those that don't know, pre-release is like their beta, so you can just wait for stable, and that'll be what you update to. But if you want to check out the pre-release, they've added CPU, GPU power control to AYN, Retroid, and Samsung devices. So it's an auto sort of thing that auto-tunes your CPU and GPU to a frame rate, essentially. So you should see lower temps and all of that if you're going to use it. They've made it faster to load in from external storage, so if you're using an SD card for your games, should be a lot quicker now. There's also a favorites tab now, and there's a lot more here. It's a long list of changes. I'm just highlighting the big changes, but if you want to check out the changelog, you should. There's a lot here. I keep hoping that I'll see something about frame pacing or super resolution and all of that. The GameHub is still kind of winning on, but maybe in the future. The GameNative guys have been working really quickly and really hard, so it's awesome to see, but those would be the only two things that I'm still waiting on. Lossless scaling is coming to Eden, the Switch emulator. So lossless scaling being the ability to frame generation, essentially. So you could do X2, X3, X4, and all of that. Lossless scaling is on the Eden nightly as of August 17th, so it is coming to Eden. If you want to try it out, it is an initial implementation of it, so you could go play around with it and see how it is. Personally, I'm not a frame gen guy, even with DLSS 4, what am I on? The 5070 Ti, whatever the newest version of DLSS is, with frame gen. Why am I saying DLSS? Not DLSS, frame gen. What is it called? MFG, multi-frame gen, MFG, whatever they call it with NVIDIA. I've tried it a few times, not a big fan of it, but I know a lot of people are. So if you want to try it out, Eden Nightly has it. There is yet another fork of Nether SX2 called Slushy's Turn-Up Fix. With this one, they wanted to try and squeeze as much performance out of the Retroid Pocket Nova as possible. So they're focusing on native resolution playability, frame pacing, and settings to make the device better than a one-size-fits-all. So what's included is turn-up drivers, like the, Nick Stewart fork that has that. There's also 60 FPS patch support, which I'm pretty sure all Nethers have. Per game Shadow of the Colossus profiles and patch installation, and then a slushy theme is what they say. There's also FSR support through LSFG. So same lossless scaling is now on Nether with this fork with FSR, which not frame gen, FSR in this scenario. So if you want to try this out, there is yet another fork of Nether SX2 that has more features. So now we are at like 3 or 4 different forks, if I'm counting correctly. ARM SX3 version 0.9.4 is now out. And I was going to go over the changelog for this. I'll put it up on screen for those that need to see it. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're fixing a lot of things. It's still alpha kind of. I tried it for a video. I was like, I sat down, I loaded up my SD card with PS3 games. I'm like, I'm going to play this. And I'm going to try out and I'm going to do a video on ARM SX3 just showing what it's like. And then my left stick wouldn't map. And then for some reason it did map. And then my right stick wouldn't map. And then it would never map. And so I gave up on that. So long story short, probably not there yet for ARM SX3. That was my experience on 0.9.1, which I checked the changelog for 0.4, and it doesn't look like they fixed that. So I don't know. I also didn't submit the bug, so I'm part of the problem. But anyways, ARM SX3, they are making significant progress, but I had some weird issues that prevented me from using it. So maybe wait a little bit longer until it gets better. Lastly, we have a new fork called Vita3K Plus. This is by Nick Stewart, who is also the person who did the Nether SX2 turn-up. With this comes a whole bunch of enhancements to a lot of games. According to Nick Stewart, they've made improvements to a lot of different games here. Killzone, Resistance, Assassin's Creed 3, Little Big Planet, Need for Speed, Call of Duty, Uncharted, and so much more. There's a bunch there. And apparently a lot of bug fixes and crashes have been fixed and freezing and all of that. The settings now default to high quality. Updates were designed with higher end devices in mind. And there's some screenshots and all of that here. So if you want to try out a new fork of Vita3K, you might want to check this out. I'm not sure why this wasn't PR'd back to Vita3K main, which if you're doing work on it, why not just send it back to the actual main project so that they could incorporate it? Or maybe he did. I didn't check for that. So anyways, if you want to check out a new fork of Vita3K, which is a Vita emulator, of course, then check it out. Okay, so question of the week. And this week's question comes because I just got in my One X Player 3. I've been playing with it. I like a lot about it. There's a lot I don't like about it. I am almost certain that the upcoming Asus X20 is going to replace this for me. I don't want to say I'm an Asus shill, but like I love Asus products. I've loved every one of their handhelds. The first one was iffy for me. But the Xbox Ally, the ROG Ally, ROG Ally X, Xbox Ally, whatever. I liked all of them. So the Xbox Ally X to me is one of the best out there. Hold on. I'm pinging off of my water bottle that is metal. Removing that. So anyways, the Xbox Ally X I really like. The biggest negative to the Xbox Ally X is the screen. It's a older 7-inch screen, still really good, but it isn't OLED. It's not the best and greatest. So the X20 coming up with OLED screen kind of solves that problem, makes it the perfect PC handheld to me, because I found everything else about it to be perfect. The comfort, the performance, all of that is good. I'm not going to say it's the best because obviously Strix Halo exists and you have the new Intel G3 Extreme, which I've been playing with on my One X Player 3. Whatever. Anyways, back to my question. I'm just going to use my Apex because it's right here. How big is too big? How big is too big? That's the question. I'm using the Apex here. This isn't a good example, although it kind of is. My One X Player 3 is downstairs. I don't want to grab it. But it's bigger than this. So my question is, how big is too big for a handheld? at one point are we like, okay, it's enough. Enough is enough at this point. Like the One X Player 3 is 8.8 inches. When I'm playing it, I'm finding that my eyes are like it's too big for how close it is to me. So like I'm looking at it and I can't see the mini map in the bottom left. I can't see whatever in the top right. I have to like pull it out a little bit more or focus my eyes down. Whereas a smaller handheld or like an 8-inch, 7.4 inch, 7-inch, all of that, I can see everything on screen. I don't have to move my eyes around. Like I don't have to adjust my tracking. So that just made me think of like, this is too big. For me, it is too big. I know it's too big. But I wanted to check it out because it was the new G3 Extreme and the screen and all of that sort of thing I wanted to play with. So my question is to you, what's too big for you? No double entendres here. This isn't a sneaky sex joke. What is too big for you when it comes to a handheld? I think for me, 8.8 inches is too big. 8 inches on the Apex is good. I'm happy with that. Those 0.8 inches do quite a bit in difference. 7.4, 7-inch, I still like. I'm still happy with on those. I can make do with those. I want my handhelds to be a handheld. I want it to be portable. I want it to be something that isn't a monitor with controls on the sides. But let me know what you think. What is your answer to that question? And I didn't do this on purpose, but speaking of very big handhelds, the GPD Win Max 3 now has final information on pricing and everything. So this is going to start at $1,750. This is a Strix Halo 388 processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and 1 terabyte drive for $1,750. This is the cheapest Strix Halo on the market. Personally, that is really good pricing. In all honesty, it is for what it is. My issues with this device stem from everything else, from the design to how it is and all of that. But spec-wise, they really crammed in a lot here. Now, this is using a 9.06-inch 2400 by 1504 OLED display running 165 Hz. No VRR. For those that don't know, this is the same screen that is in the Neo Next 2, that big one that costs $5,000. And I believe it is a 3:2 aspect ratio screen. So there's all kinds of weirdness happening with this screen. It's also 9.06 inches, like it's huge. But anyways, the Win Max 3, starting at $1,750, if you want it. This is a weird device. I have seen a few videos on it now. I have no interest in this thing at all. The battery pops into the front, so it kind of adds like a speaker / palm rest, kind of. Like it is super weird of a device, but if you are looking at one, it starts at $1,750. So if you want one, that's what it is. That's all for the device news. Seems like everybody took off this week. There's nothing else to talk about. But what we can talk about is the Play Retro Games Club, which you're not in. Some of you are, but you're not in. You specifically. So why aren't you in it? Why aren't you using those devices to play some games? Right now, our game of the week is Alien Crush, which is a PC Engine game. And it is a pinball game. So all of those things in one. It's actually pretty cool. You should come check it out. Then we have Castlevania Aria of Sorrow as our game of the month, which will be ending in the end of this month. So not a lot more to go, but still lots of time for you to play it if you want to. Pokemon Lazarus is our ROM hack of the month. Also same thing. Few more days to go, so you should come check it out. And Kingdom Hearts is our game of the season, which you have a few months still for. We just passed 100 unique users, which is really cool. Whole bunch of other actual stats, like 1,800 hours of gameplay, all these sorts of things, which is really cool. We're growing quickly, but we still need you. You. I'm talking to you specifically. Come join. No newscast questions this week, so if you want to send them in, newscast@joeysretrohandhelds.com, or there's a Discord channel there, newscast Q&A, you can send it in through there. Otherwise, that's going to be it for me. Hope to see you next week with some new information from Gamescom, and we'll talk next week. So appreciate you all for watching, and that's all for me, Kyoto, Japan.